Hello, everybody. How's it going? Andrew is on vacation, so I got the illustrious DJ Temple to come help me out and have some fun.
Illustrious.
I may take a guitar lesson from him today, but our primary reason for being here today is to answer your questions. What's been going on with your practicing? What are you struggling with? What have you overcome recently? Just what have you been working on? And before we get into that, we're going to play a metal tune, just one of the play-alongs from the members area. And while we're doing that, take that opportunity to get your questions in now because it does take a while for them to come through. There are already a few in there, but go ahead and just, if you're a member in the members area, click on the questions tab below the video and just submit your questions there. It can be about anything guitar related, gear, what you've been working on, what you have questions on, anything like that. Is there anything you'd like to say? I kind of talked all over that.
I heard this backing track like 20 seconds ago. It's awesome.
It's true.
It's awesome.
But this just proves that you don't have to have something like super complex to be really good. I'm not saying this is a really good metal song. It's a rip-off of a couple Pantera tunes. That's all.
Nothing wrong with
And a Death
Pantera.
Clock tune. So nothing. But I don't take credit for this one. So
It's sick. It's sick. Now watch me screw it up live on Facebook.
well, I'll be right there with you, so it's fine. Here we go. Get your questions in, guys. See you on the other side of this one. Live fade out for you. I can't remember the name. I think the name of that song is 13 and South. Yes, that is one of the names of the tune, so it's in the members area for you. So I'm going to check the questions again. I don't see any more have come in, but I'll keep my eye on them. Let me check the chat real quick. I want to make sure nobody's asked anything in the chat. And if not, we'll get into the questions that are there, and then I have some questions of my own for DJ. Okay, so nothing going on in the chat, but little chats.
Pretty sure all of Guitareo wants to know how you look so damn sexy while you do this.
Ask my wife. It's her fault. Anything to do with that, her fault. 100%.
Good-looking guy right there.
I'm not embarrassed at all. Let's see. The first question is kind of a housekeeping question from last week. It's from Brocky, who says, I missed that last week, but I wanted to see it. How do I access it? Is there a prompt on the day? If not, how could I get to see it? I've set the time zone for where I am in Australia. Usually, the live lesson archive is up the next day, by end of business the next day, so 24 hours from morning broadcast. Occasionally, we have some kind of technical issue or some kind of thing that needs to be edited. That's what happened last week. So it was a few days delay just because we had to edit some things with the sound. So normally, the next day, 24 hours from the time of the broadcast, like this time tomorrow, you can just click on the little bar at the bottom of the live page that says "Miss a Broadcast?" and then it'll take you to the archive, and it'll be archived in order. And you can just check that out. Let's see, one more. This is a gear question.
Uh-oh.
Awesome. This is from T. Franklin. I was wanting to get a volume pedal because I want to do some volume swells. And the problem is I don't know if I can connect it to my PreSonus audio box, i2 and or my Fender Mustang for modeling amp. Modeling amp, 100% you can. Because all it is, you stick it in front of your guitar just like you would normally amp it. All it is putting your volume knob on the floor, right? So your hands are freed up. You don't have to do that kind of thing, right? So for sure you can do that. It depends on how you're using. It might be a little bit weird into the audio interface. It will still work. It'll just be like you're doing this. Exact same thing. I mean, the type of potentiometer that's in it may sound different from your guitar, may have a different feel or sound, but I think it'll work the exact same way. 100% with the amp. It will work with the audio interface, but I'm not sure if that will affect the sound in the same way. DJ, do you know anything about this?
I'm trying to think, because like I use a different kind of the PreSonus one at home, and I've got one in front of mine. I think you're right. I think it's just all going to be in the interface itself that makes it happen. Mm-hmm. And then obviously whatever digital audio workstation you're going needs to be able to register that the volume pedal is being used. Or that might be weird. But I'm going to defer to this guy on this one.
I think you're good to go, and just go to a guitar store that's has a return policy, and if it doesn't work, it will work, but if it doesn't work like you want it to, then you can take it back. Worst case scenario, right?
Yeah. Well, else fails. Google.
Yeah, I don't really use a volume pedal too much, just because I play lots of strats and tellies. So my volume is always right here, and I do a lot of swells like that if I want to. Right. But I do have, like on this Helix, I have a volume pedal set up on every patch just for that kind of stuff. So it's worth having there. Let me see. One more thing. Okay. If you have any questions, get them in now because there are none in there right now, but I'm going to take a lesson from DJ real quick. I want to talk about your picking philosophy.
Okay.
Because this is something that I'm constantly evolving with and seeking out new information.
Okay. Like nose picking or?
Maybe after picking. Because I know, like, you use sharp picks like I do.
Yes.
Like, I use these if I'm playing on electric, and I don't, and like a mellow tone isn't important, like on a Gretsch or something like that. So, yeah, just run by your picking philosophy with me as far as basic mechanics.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I got a couple of cool things. I kind of believe the wheelhouse should be down picking, economy picking, alternate picking, and sweep picking. Okay. These are like the wheelhouses I work with. If we talk about just straight up alternate picking, I mean, down picking is really self-explanatory. Mm-hmm. Now, with the alternate picking, I had a teacher years ago tell me everybody goes like this with their alternate picking, but that's actually still picking from the elbow, and you want to avoid that. Mm-hmm. So he talked about like inserting a key into a car door and trying to get that going. Mm-hmm. So that was the weirdest thing in the world for me to get used to. Mm-hmm. Trying to get that going. And then with the economy picking, it's just 3 notes per string, right? So what's cool about economy picking is if I take like a classic one. And the issue is there's an odd number of notes per string, so I couldn't get it clean. Yeah. Metal guys, we're trying to play as clean as we can, even though we do not look clean.
That's different. That's something else.
Yes, all the cleanliness is... I digress. Okay, so... when I started getting to a higher tempo, like... it was tough because there was too many pick strokes. So with economy pick, I can go down, up, down, down. Just kind of make that last down stroke go to the next string. Is that Adam's Family?
It is. This is totally Adam's Family.
And that allowed me to get that. Kind of that really cool control tactic to it. Down, up, down, 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 up, down, down. So applying the same principle of this, but then just controlling with a palm mute and whatnot. Big advocate for a metronome. Throw the metronome on all day. I got this rad metronome feature on this app I downloaded that has a timer built into it. So I could go.
Oh, like Speed Trainer?
Yeah,
Or like
well, more for like 2 minutes straight, I'm going to do this.
do this, okay.
And then
That's
it
great.
chimes at 2 minutes. And I try
What app is
something
that?
else. It's called Metro Timer.
Metro Timer, awesome.
Totally free. I'm a guitarist. I don't pay for nothing.
Because like one trap that I know I fall into is like, I'm only going to spend 20 minutes today working on technique.
Yeah.
And an hour and a half later, frick, all my practice time is gone.
100%.
So
100%. I mean, I'm one of those weird dudes that actually isolates my practice time. And I think it's because I've been a martial artist for so long. I'm just used to like
super disciplined.
kicks this, here punches this, grapples. So with me, it's like, okay, today is only my picking day, or today's only my mode day, or something like that. And I really try and break it down with, I teach a lot, so sometimes I only get like 10 minutes between students or something.
Yeah.
How can I maximize this 10 minutes? And that Speed Trainer app thing has been phenomenal for that. But that being said, I would practice single note stuff all day too, and then I would get to bursts. So instead of being like, I would try and get to like the, I mean, in jamming
Is that
with
just
you,
4 notes? One,
Yeah.
2, 4.
I guess you call it 16th notes, but even throwing them into the rhythm track, like we were jamming that. I can't. The metal guy in me can't help but go. I guess the gallops and all that. It's just fun.
When you do that, like for the twitch on the your motion gets so tiny, and then it goes back to like a normal, identifiable picking stroke.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, that's I don't know if I developed that because of the karate thing. Because like when they teach you to punch in karate, it's really weird. They teach you this big grandiose motion, and then they make you break it down until eventually like it's like this. So it's weird. Like they teach you like go like this. Yeah. It's my karate punch. It's impressive. It's okay. You have to make the sound. Yeah. But with those, my old teacher back in the day would be like daga da da daga da da daga da da, and really big motions until we made them small. Yeah, and the gripping the pick too, I guess. Thumb and this. You see a lot of people doing.
Like that's a big thing that I like to research people doing.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I do this thing where I like fish hook it.
Yeah.
And then I balance the big part
On your hook.
on the hook, and then I'm pinching it. Cool. And that may slide this way, like from the crest in, or I guess crest down, from time to time. But you won't see me going like this way, or 2 fingers on it, even for that matter. Sometimes I've caught myself live when we're playing that I'll like rotate it to put it back, but this is the sweet spot.
Right. This is your placement kind of.
Yeah.
Pushing back. Yeah.
Now, hey, we're talking about Pantera. Real cool, funny side thing, because I'm a Pantera nut.
Me too.
Um,
Well, not as much as you, I gotta confess, but I love Pantera.
Pantera's, man, like, come on. Pantera.
Yeah.
Can you even just say Pantera? It's always like this, like, Southern Pantera. Like, I can't just go.
Pantera.
It's Pantera. No, it's Pantera. I can't help it. Anyway, Dime used to carve X's into his pick.
Oh, for grip?
Yeah, when he would sweat and stuff. And I tried that a couple of times when I was younger just because it was cool to take, like, a knife. Don't do that, kids. Take a knife, but it would just rest in there. And that kind of, now even went, yeah, there you go. Knife to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Wow. But yeah, that's kind of pick grip is good. That's why I really gravitated towards these.
The sharps.
Yeah, they're just, I don't know. Big fan.
So
Like sweeper
when
picking.
you're picking, like this is my next question, I suppose. Like even like when you get into real heavy stuff and really fast stuff, I still see like that key motion you're talking about.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to develop that? Because a lot of people, once they get past a certain speed, they start doing
yeah.
this,
So
right?
the thing about that one is it's very much an isolated exercise that I would do with a metronome and had no time limit. It wasn't like I need to get this by 3 p.m. I need to get this by Thursday. It's like it's going to happen when it's going to happen, and it needs to get to a point This is the weirdest thing to explain, but it would get to a point where I would get to a faster tempo, and I would feel like the freight train's getting away from me. I can't control the pick anymore. And that's when I know that was my ceiling, so I would stop. And when I was always aware of my ceiling, then I would just plus or minus the metronome 5 BPM at a time. And it was very much this, like, even now if I go right about there, it feels like, okay, I'm not in control of every pick stroke. And that's where I need to roll it back.
The horse is carrying you, you're not riding the horse.
100%, 100%. And that's super important because, like, you'll see a lot of metal players, I'm talking metal, but like do all your shakes and your squeals and stuff.
Yeah.
The squeals are 100% pick direction and pick location, right, to get them. So if you're not in control where your pick is, you're going to get those half the time. That's no good. That's no good.
Cool. Next question for you as we dissect your philosophy is where are you anchoring your hand and where are you using that? Because I know some people use their fingers, some people use their palm, their wrist, whatever.
Yeah. This is if any of my teachers are watching. I do anchor a lot.
I find this is different for everybody, man.
Really?
Like subtly different for everybody.
Ooh, it's like a weird taboo. It's like metal vocalists cupping the mic. You know, some are for it, some aren't.
Yeah.
Don't cup the mic.
Don't do it.
With me, yes, I am anchoring. So I'll anchor with either if I'm picking here on the low end of the string, like the low spectrum, I'll definitely be doing kind of rested palm mute onto my bridge, but not enough to affect the strings unless I want a palm mute effect. And then if I'm down here, I might still continue that kind of karate chop. I feel like there's a theme here. The karate chop method as I move down, but there is a lot of weight onto that pinky knuckle for sure. Ideally, I've read in every book you're not supposed to, but meh.
I don't know, man. Like I've been on like the hunt, and like I watched the Cracking the Code video with Michelangelo.
Yeah.
And he plays like this, which I'm not very good at, but he has like this. He's like all the time. Just anchored.
He's a monster.
And then John Petrucci, he's like this all the time.
With the 45?
With the pinky and the ring finger right here.
Interesting.
So.
What about Marty Friedman?
Marty Friedman is like, I'm pretty sure he anchors his top knuckles on the top of his guitar.
See, I got a guitar friend of mine who I call the professor because he's just ridiculous. And he was the guy giving me the background as to why he believes Marty Friedman does that. There's this whole science called the downward pick slant.
Yep.
And he's like, that's the way to get the extreme downward pick slant. He said it was the secret to Yngwie's. All Yngwie's crazy. Which I still can't get that damn downstroke.
It's not pretty good.
It's the freaking downward pick slant is weird. And because like those that play fast with like rhythm and whatnot, you'll notice that it'll start to, at least I did, it started to come up on me. And I don't know if it's because I
like
would,
when I
chill out.
Especially on low rhythm stuff, I have something like Rob Chappers does that a lot.
Yeah.
But like I've been training myself more to stay relaxed, anchor, something like my fingers there.
Huh. See, there's a whole thing towards whether or not the pick should be turned like a fighter jet
or like
too.
This. Yeah.
Yeah,
Straight.
you'll see a lot of the tech death guys. I've noticed they do this like this kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Like it's this weird thumb.
That's Sean Lane. And to me, that's like very comfortable.
Really? Can't do it. My hand is freaking out right
But
now.
like I've trained myself so far and so long with like a downward. That I kind of trained myself out of that. But if I were to pick up a guitar pick naturally, I'd probably play like this, like from the beginning.
Very interesting. Interesting. I just, maybe from my fingerstyle days back in the day, classical stuff, it was always here. I would just grab the pick and go.
I have an abnormally large thumb for the rest of my fingers. I think that might be one of the reasons.
You ever seen that thumping video by Tosin Abasi?
I've seen Tosin Abasi play. I don't think I've watched any videos.
Yeah, he's got this cool thing on thumping. I don't comprehend it.
Because when he does it, his thumb's super curved like that.
Yeah, and he gets some dope rhythms.
Yeah, it's like completely new. I guess in the last 10 years, new techniques on guitar, right? I mean, I guess bass, it's always been around, but the way he's playing it to guitar is just wicked.
100%.
Let's see. There was a question here I wanted to address. Alex B in the chat said, I've been working on legato. I feel like I'm finally starting to get the hang of pull-offs.
Nice.
You answered most of my questions for your picking philosophy, which is really fun to kind of dissect that for me. So, but if you want to talk about legatos and like particularly pull-offs for Alex B.
100%.
Yeah.
Alex, what's up, homie? pull-offs. I came up with this really cool way I explain it because I'm narcissistic and believe my ways are cool. If you were to play a note like this, and I always have my students like point their hand towards me, and you play a note, a pull-off is like play the note and then flick it. Flick that. Because I find, especially at a higher speed, people are forgetting the flick. They leave it. They like try and lift their hand away super fast. But if I have to go like, I mean, I'm over exaggerating that movement, but like, and I don't know, it might be tough to hear, but if you listen, like I'm rocking that wood, you'll hear the wood. I think they call that a trill. Right? But yeah, legato stuff like. That's tasty, man. Tasty. I've been doing this thing where I add I think it's a sharp 11. Pretty sure. I'm adding it into my normal arpeggio shapes. Sharp 11 being that guy. And that I can't get that with a pick per se.
With a pick, so you're doing a legato.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, I should be trying.
That sounds good.
Yeah, it's tricky, but it's just this cool altered sound to it, right?
What is that? You do it there?
Yeah, A major. Oh, so gorgeous.
Yeah, that's really
So
nice.
gorgeous.
I don't know if I've ever played that in that shape.
Yeah, cool. Well, you got to be like me, just know one
Stealing
shape.
it. Stolen. Done.
Yeah, it's really cool. I don't know if anybody in here is curious what a sharp 11 is, but it's an octave of the fourth, which was really cool.
Cool.
Like the professor.
The pro.
We would always talk about it, and he would go. It would be considered a sharp 4 if you added it in the lower octave, but you're not. You're bypassing it completely in the lower octave. So just call it
11.
an added sharp 11. Plus, it makes you sound really cool. This arpeggio is an A major with an added sharp 11. Cool. Yeah.
It makes you sound like a professor.
Yeah. Yes.
What was I gonna say? Oh, yesterday in a live stream, Randy, who works here, was talking about legato.
Cool.
And he's like, I just don't have, I can't, my speed's not up to where I want it. What's a good exercise for it? He's like, I'm already doing this. And then, like, sometimes I'm not a fan of doing exercise for exercise sake.
Okay.
But on this, it's really helped me isolate the challenge of legato in general. And that's the, with all finger groups.
Yeah.
All the way up and back down. And that's one exercise, like, I don't mind spending 5 minutes on that, like, if on certain days of the week, because it's so effective and it warms me up and it keeps my hand in shape so much. It's not musical, but like when I go to practice more musical things, my hand's feeling really good.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's something to be said about a fitness regime.
Yeah.
To this whole thing that we're doing too. I mean, for better or worse, we're playing kind of an extreme style of the instrument, right? And that's something
Very
to be
physical.
considered.
Yeah.
That thing is cool. I originally saw Dimebag talking about Pantera. It used to have this article called Riffer Madness.
I've never heard of that. Awesome.
Read it all the time. Guitar will put out like a collection of them all in a separate book now too.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's really neat. And he has all these in it. And he does all finger groups, and he does like sliding patterns with it. He takes riff examples from Pantera songs. And what I always liked about Dime was growing up, because he was easily my first musician idol, that I was like, I want to be like that.
Yeah.
And he would always talk about, he's like, I have no idea what scale this is. So it kind of like taught me that it doesn't necessarily matter at first.
It sounds good. It is good.
Yeah. And he called them like cool Gutbuster Riff A or whatever. It's pretty neat, man.
That's cool.
Super blast. But yeah, whoever that was, I forgot his name already.
I will get it for you.
Alex.
Alex B, yeah.
Alex, that's my trick to pull-offs. Hammer-ons, just kind of reverse the process, throw them on, and you can do the whole thing where you grab your neck up here and just kind of work this out.
I've never done that before.
Any kind of like finger shift. This is just one of the oversimplified fret wraps, I guess you call them.
Yeah.
A lot of the shredder guys will do that. And then
So
whatever,
you're just keeping your strings quiet.
yeah, whatever arbitrary finger pattern you want to do.
Oh, okay, right on. Cool.
It's super fun. Super fun.
I was telling Randy the other day, I was like, in addition to doing an exercise like that, just getting the coordination down in fitness.
Yeah.
Work on something that you're not good at. In addition to that, like for example, 3-note per string scales. You may know the shape, the first shape, or what you call a major shape, right? But do you know this next shape up? If not, spend some time working on that too. And then come back up and go back down. And eventually we're like, okay, I know that shape pretty well. Go to the next one. You may as well be working on something you don't know as you're developing this other stuff, just kind of double dipping. For me, that would be doing like harmonic minor stuff because I don't really use that scale much.
Oh, really? Okay.
So that's something like if I want to work on technique, I think like after the focused technique time, I think I should practice on harmonic minor scale shapes all the way up and down the fretboard because I just don't know them well. Like I know one or two.
Yeah, okay.
I know the idea behind them and I know how they're made, but I don't have them internalized, right?
I feel it. Yeah. I should take this point to point out I'm wearing llama socks. Quite excited about them. Bow ties and monocles. I'm a very random person, Nate.
I'm slowly learning this.
Very, very random. No, harmonic minor is a really rad thing too. I want to touch on something you said there with those mode shapes.
Sure.
I always challenge my students to learn two specific ones. This one, which you did, right? If you want to continue, whatever. And then this one I showed. Natural minor, right? Now, the reason I show them those two is if you want to memorize modes on a faster level, learn those two, and then just learn the interval distances. So, like the second mode is a minor shape with a sharp 6.
Okay.
So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up. Okay. The next one is a minor scale with a flat 2 instead. It made it so much easier for my brain to grasp these modes. Just calling them out as I went. And then what's cool is you can take those and throw those alter notes into your arpeggio and be like, ooh.
I love, what's one? This is for your, are you done? I don't want to cut you off.
Oh yeah, please. No, that's
okay. One thing for a legato that I really like is just like a major 9 arpeggio. But it's all legato. I'm barely picking anything, man. I think that's right. 1, 2, 3, 5, 7. Yeah, that's right. But it's a movable shape, super easy to learn. All this is the first 3 notes of your major scale. And then you pop up here to the 5th, and then the 7th. And that's just a major 9 arpeggio. And then that's the 1 octave, and you just move it through your octaves. Sorry. Stolen. Though we're even for the day.
I like the diminished one that way. I like.
Do it again. So it's just a symmetrical pattern?
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Exactly right. And what's cool is you get 4 notes and then everything's an octave. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's super rad is if you practice the sequence, like you can see I'm alternate picking that if you need practice on the alternate picking.
And it feels like a pentatonic.
It does, and it just sounds so gnarly.
Yeah.
But you can do this really cool, I'm just gonna arbitrarily choose a place here. So I'm gonna sequence it backwards by going. And I guess it's cool like,
That's so much easier than doing like,
right? Yeah. But you know what's super rad? Because I've been super noodling with this right now. I'm on a real big Jeff Loomis kick right now.
Okay. Yeah.
He's a monster of the whole diminished thing. But you can go. And I just got that cool like box-shaped arpeggio out of it. Yeah. And then it's right here in an off. So to come forward. That's the same thing. If you want to add chromatics to it. show off a little bit and call it a day.
Well, that's cool, man. There's no questions, and but we can keep talking. One thing I want to know is what are you up to with your band?
Yes, good old band.
What's coming down?
We got our new record written, so we're going to start recording it. It's just hella expensive for an indie band, so we're going to start the whole recording process, and we're on a new management deal, which is really rad.
Excellent.
Talking about sending us all over, maybe to Texas.
Ooh.
It's a weird dream. Like we just said.
Dallas, man. Chris
oh,
Knight.
Fort
Have you
Worth.
played there before?
Never. But big Pantera fan. I want to play Texas. Just like I'm playing metal in Texas. That's a win.
That's awesome, man.
That's a win.
And where can people find you?
We're all over the internet. We're basically internet like prostitutes at this point.
Just doling it out for whoever will take it.
Without Mercy Band is our tag, so we're on Instagram. Without Mercy Band.
Okay. That's probably the most active thing for you guys? Is
I'd say
Instagram?
that, our Facebook, our website itself. I built it myself. Go make fun of it.
Cool.
And
go make fun of it.
go make fun. Buy our merchandise. I used to say this thing live, and it got me into a lot of trouble, but I straight ripped it off from Devin Townsend. It was hilarious because I love Strapping Young Lad. What an iconic metal band, right? And he used to say this thing where, we're strapping young lad, you're not, buy our t-shirts. And so I would start saying it, but then he also added the second line, which I also started saying it. My band was kind of like, maybe stop. Which the second line was, you'd point to someone random in the crowd and be like, you buy 2 t-shirts, one for your ugly girlfriend.
Oh!
And it never translated really well.
Devin Townsend can say that, though.
Yeah, he can. He's Devin.
He's local, isn't he?
Yes. And I heard rumors of he was headbanging once and chipped his tooth on a microphone or something. So he just pulled it out and was like, that's metal. And he just kept going. I'm like,
what do you do?
Paid $12 for this show.
Oh, that's rough. That's awesome, man. That is metal. Anything that involves pain or blood or, those types of things, metal. 100%.
For anybody watching, too, try and delve into this extreme. In my experience, people stop at the extreme metal because of vocals, growling stuff. Try and get beyond that. Like, there's some killer musicianship going on right now. Really nuts. There's great bands like Animals as Leaders is a good band to kind of get your feet wet because they don't have any vocals. So it's
I really like Scale the Summit. That's a little more
also good,
accessible to the layperson.
Been jamming the new Polyphia record all morning.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat. I can't remember track 2. I think it's just called OD. Weird, but it's fantastic rhythms to it.
Yeah, I've heard really good. I haven't heard it yet, but I've heard really good things about it just all over social.
100%. And then the other thing is, again, because I teach so much, I'm responsible for molding young kids, as they say. Learn the grandfathers of everything. Learn your Panteras, learn your...
I unfortunately, I regret when I first started, I started with current stuff. I wish I would have started with the Beatles and then gone on from there. And when I was 28, 30, then I started learning the Beatles.
Right.
Then I started learning about Zeppelin and just the progression through that, right?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm just barely starting to get caught up. I'm just opening the door and seeing all the stuff and going, man, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's what an era to live in, though. Would that have been? Man. I got this one friend, Steve, and his favorite band of all time is Rush. And on digital tape, so to speak, Rush is great. They did not inspire me as a musician, but I recognize their placement.
Right.
But I rip on them all the time and I tease about how much Rush sucks or whatever, and it just ruins his day.
Ruins the day.
I love it. But Rush is one of those other bands, significantly iconic, especially the Canadian.
Yeah, exactly.
Significantly iconic. But my point was I'm referencing a lot of bands right now, but check out Strapping Young Lad and realize how far they pushed that envelope, and how they gave birth to they didn't give birth to him, but Gene Hoglan, their drummer, who's just a machine.
Who was here 3 months ago, almost peed my pants.
Oh, the guy's just his nickname's the Atomic Clock because his meter is so perfect. Yeah. It's great, man. And if you're still on the fence, find a metal show and experience it live because
there's something about that. I've gotten into quite a few bands that I would not normally have gotten into just listening to a CD or on iTunes because I saw them live.
Yeah.
I approached from a completely different perspective, and it made me a big fan, right?
100%.
Yep.
There's something about the air in the room, the atmosphere, just everything.
The vibe. I mean, sometimes the energy can't be captured on tape or on a hard drive that you can on a live show. So.
100%. And quick side note, metal guys are easy to walk up and talk to if you've met your...
In general, I'll say, more than most genres, yeah.
It's pretty neat. I've gone to so many shows where where I've been into the band or like looked up to the band, you could just walk right up because they're selling their own merch usually. But, hey, I like you. You got some good stuff. And they're like, please get out of the van.
Please get out of our hotel room.
Yes. What's a hotel room? Yeah.
There is a question here in the chat, and then I think we'll play something totally bizarre and not related to anything we've talked about so far. Like mellow. I'm gonna change my guitar over to a clean tone.
Oh, snap. What's a clean tone?
Clean CT. You don't have to. I'm going to.
What does a clean tone mean?
Here is a question from David L in the chat. He says, "How do you keep the neighboring strings from making sound with a big band? Especially, I'm adding this, but especially with gain on the guitar."
Good question. Yeah. Good question. Especially your deep bends, like your whole tones or beyond, right? I'm curious what you do for this, actually.
Mute the living out of everything. So, if I'm, let's say, 15th fret of the B string, and you have this thing is going to want to ring out, and this thing is going to want to ring out. If I don't do any muting, that's what it ends up sounding like. But I usually grab a top strings wherever I am with my top fingers that aren't holding the pick. In this case, I can only do it with one because there's only one string. But then I also mute the neighboring string with my fingers I'm bending with. And then sometimes I reach around with my thumb to mute that. And then the palm of my hand is muting all the strings below it too.
That's a good idea.
But there's sometimes when I'm recording while I've been like, man, my muting is good. I think it's good until I hit the recording. I'm like, there's something ringing out, like my finger, something like that, right? You have to be very deliberate with it at first, to where that one string is ringing out. Even then, I heard some. That was pretty good. But when I let it down, you hear that little thing at the end of my fingernail hit that. So you have to be just real super conscious about it. And use every part of both hands to mute the strings that you're not playing.
And a foot, if you can.
That's actually better.
Llama socks.
Llama toe.
Yeah, I'm very similar. So I kind of come at it with, and it's usually because of all the arpeggio practice. But like when I'm bending a note, what'll happen is the meaty part of my finger beyond this first knuckle, I guess. On this knuckle is going to catch that E string like you're doing, and then that karate chop thing that I mentioned earlier, or you're going to see me sometimes turn my hand over and I get the meat of my thumb does it. It's like right here, the meat of my fingers has that high E string. Stuff like that.
Awesome. Let's see. I just came up with an idea for a jam. I'm gonna see if there's any more questions. If there's not, I'm just gonna play a jam and you can do some kind of soulful lead thingy over top.
Oh, snap.
Let's see, no more questions. So I'm just gonna figure out a progression.
Okay.
I'm gonna tune first, just so I don't hurt you people. But this is already sounding like Cemetery Gates, so. Thanks for coming out today, guys. Hope you had fun. Andrew will be back next week, but I will be gone on vacation. You want to come back next week?
Oh, yeah, sure. I'll be.
I didn't realize that until today. I've been so busy. I have my wife's CD release or album release contract. I keep calling them CDs.
Force the habit.
Yeah.
Just like people still say, let's get that on tape.
Yeah, exactly. There are no tapes. Well, there actually are CDs, but most people aren't listening to those, right?
I say this every time I'm here, but I hope anybody watching, you guys realize the amount of material this guy has and the service that's being provided. Please abuse it. Take advantage of it. It's a pretty iconic thing you're doing, man.
Thanks.
Keep it up.